The training facility on Kepler Station buzzed with the usual mixture of anticipation and dread that accompanied Selection Day. Representatives from dozens of species had gathered to witness the Galactic Defense Corps' newest batch of recruits attempt to prove their worth. Most would fail. Those who succeeded would join the most elite fighting force in known space. Zextar Vorthak stood at the center of the sparring ring, his forearms crossed in a display of casual dominance. At 8 feet tall, with chitinous plates covering his muscular frame, he was an imposing sight even among the diverse crowd of aliens. His species, the Krillian, had dominated the GDC's combat rankings for 3 standard cycles running. No other race came close to matching their combination of speed, strength, and natural weaponry. The current batch of recruits huddled together at the ring's edge, a motley collection of beings from across the galaxy. There were the crystalline Zephyrians whose bodies could refract energy beams. The gaseous Nebulans floated in their containment suits, capable of phasing through solid matter. The insectoid Chiteks clicked nervously, their razor-sharp mandibles gleaming under the station's artificial lighting. And then there was the human. Marcus Chen stood barely 6 feet tall, his frame lean but not particularly muscular by galactic standards. His pale skin bore none of the natural armor or adaptive features that marked the other species as evolutionary survivors. No claws, no fangs, no energy projection capabilities, just soft flesh and bone, protected by nothing more than the standard-issue training uniform. Zextar's compound eyes focused on the human with something approaching amusement. He had heard rumors about this species, how they had somehow managed to develop faster-than-light travel despite their obvious physical limitations. It was probably just luck, he decided. Or perhaps they had stolen the technology from a more advanced race. You. Zextar pointed one of his 4 clawed hands at Marcus. Human. Step forward. The other recruits instinctively moved away, creating a clear path between Marcus and the champion. The human walked forward with steady steps, his face betraying no emotion. When he reached the edge of the sparring circle, he stopped and met Zextar's gaze without flinching. I am Zextar Vorthak, the Krillian announced, his voice carrying across the training facility. Current champion of the Galactic Defense Corps combat trials. Undefeated in 47 consecutive matches. He gestured grandly with his multiple arms. I have faced the strongest warriors from every corner of the galaxy. I have broken the spirits of countless recruits who thought themselves worthy. Marcus said nothing, simply nodding once in acknowledgement. Zextar's mandibles clicked in what passed for a chuckle among his species. Tell me, little human, what makes you think you belong here? Your kind has no natural weapons, no armor, no enhanced reflexes. You are, by any reasonable measure, one of the weakest species ever to apply for GDC membership. The crowd of observers murmured their agreement. It was true. Humans had scored poorly on every physical assessment metric. Their bone density was average, their muscle fiber composition unremarkable, their sensory organs limited to a narrow spectrum compared to most galactic species. Perhaps, Zextar continued, his voice dripping with condescension, you should consider a career in agriculture, or maybe waste management, something more suited to your limited capabilities. A few aliens in the crowd chittered with laughter. Even some of the other recruits seemed to find humor in the champion's words. Marcus remained silent, his expression unchanged. Zextar leaned forward, bringing his imposing bulk closer to the human. Are you mute, little one? Or simply too frightened to speak in the presence of a real warrior? I can speak just fine, Marcus replied quietly. I'm just wondering if you're done talking yet. The laughter from the crowd died instantly. Zextar's compound eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed in anger. No recruit had ever shown such disrespect, certainly not a member of such a pathetically weak species. Done talking? Zextar's voice rose to a threatening growl. Oh, I am far from done, human. Perhaps a demonstration is in order. Show this soft creature what real strength looks like. The Krillian's forearms moved in a blur, each one striking toward different points on Marcus's body. It was a signature move, the quadruple strike, designed to overwhelm opponents with simultaneous attacks from multiple angles. No being in the galaxy could block all 4 strikes simultaneously. Marcus didn't try to block them all. Instead, he stepped slightly to his left and pivoted on his rear foot. The movement was economical, almost casual, requiring no wasted motion or excessive speed. 3 of Zextar's strikes missed entirely, whistling harmlessly through the air where Marcus had been standing a fraction of a second earlier. The fourth strike, the one Zextar had put the most force behind, the one meant to shatter ribs, met the back of Marcus's left hand in a perfect backhand slap. The sound of impact echoed through the facility like a gunshot. Zextar's head snapped to the side with such violence that several observers winced. His massive frame stumbled backward, all four arms windmilling for balance. When he finally steadied himself and turned back toward Marcus, his mandibles hung at an unnatural angle. Greenish blood trickled from between his chitinous plates. The champion's jaw was broken. Silence blanketed the training facility. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Even the constant hum of the station's life support system seemed muted in the aftermath of that single, devastating backhand. Marcus straightened his uniform and looked around at the assembled crowd. Human military combat doctrine, he said conversationally, is based on three fundamental principles: economy of motion, precision targeting, and overwhelming response to aggression. He turned his attention back to Zextar, who was still trying to process what had just happened. You asked what makes me think I belong here. The answer is simple. My species didn't get to the stars by being the strongest or the fastest. We got here by being the most efficient killers in the galaxy. Marcus walked toward the exit, pausing only when he reached the other recruits. Oh, and champion? He called back to Zextar without turning around. That wasn't even a real hit. That was just me being polite. As the human disappeared through the doorway, the various aliens in the training facility began to murmur among themselves. Perhaps they had underestimated this strange new species. Perhaps there was more to these humans than met the eye. In the center of the ring, Zextar Vorthak, former undefeated champion of the Galactic Defense Corps, gingerly touched his shattered jaw and wondered what other surprises humanity might have in store for the galaxy. The selection day trials continued, but everyone already knew who would be graduating at the top of the class.